Here at Wager Talk, we would never say it was silly to buy a single play $25 package or buy a single play $35 package, but we are darn close to saying just that. Until Sunday at midnight Eastern, we have discounted every handicapper's 3-day all sports, all access packages to just $49. So why buy one play for $25 when you can get 3 days of all access pass for only $24 more? With the 5% that regularly costs $35, you can get 3 full days for only $14 more. No coupon needed. Just head over to Wager Talk and go to your favorite handicappers homepage and lock in your 3-day all access pass for only $49.
Hey guys, and a very happy Thursday. Welcome in here to a little college basketball tip-off show on this January the 13th, 2022. Pretty special day today. We'll get to that in a minute, but a huge college basketball card here. A couple of games that we are going to isolate. We're going to talk about, see if we can find some edges for you, and we're going to do it with 3 of the most profitable college hoops handicappers we have at Wager Talk, including Ralph Michaels up top there, Steve Merrill in there, straight from shoveling, and of course, Dave Koken back in the chair hanging out with us here. And before we get started here, guys, we just wanted to take a second and let you guys know it's a very special day today. It is Dave Koken's birthday today, and we wanted to say happy birthday. And we put a little something together for you here, Dave. And this is a little walk down memory lane, if you can. Go ahead, Robert, hit it up. I have no idea what that is, but I'm hoping you'll explain it.
That's the panel, the old panel on Proline, which ran for so many years.
I meant this.
That's one of the UFC girls, I believe.
Nice. I want that back.
That picture's about 100 years old.
And keep in mind, guys, $69. You get 10 days right now in honor of Dave's birthday. 10 days all access for Dave if you head to his page over at WagerTalk.com. So there you go, Dave. Very happy birthday to you. Do you still have that bat by some chance?
Yeah, probably.
Oh man, I love that.
I haven't had any experience using bats lately, so it's probably in a closet someplace. That's a bat that's never going to get broken.
No, that ain't going to have no scuff marks on it. That is for sure. Happy birthday, Dave. Guys, take advantage of it. $69, 10 days all access. Head to Dave in honor of his 69th birthday, guys. $69 gets you 10 days all access at WagerTalk.com. And while you're there, join Ralph Michaels, who is in the house. And Ralph, welcome back in, my man. What's been going on, and what do you got ready tonight here at WagerTalk.com?
First off, Dave, happy birthday. Honor to work with you, and you're an incredible individual. I have a hockey play. I haven't used many hockey plays, but I'm 65% lifetime at Wager Talk when I have a 4% best bet. That's up 3 college basketball plays from my all access, but we'll be up front here like we always are. It has been an absolute brutal week for me in college hoops. Hopefully we turn that around, and we will turn it around. Hopefully it starts today.
Yeah, we got a few games here, Ralph, to make it right. That's for sure. And Steve Merrill, talk to us here, my man. What is going on? Continuing to cash some tickets. Nice play, I believe, UCF last night. Congrats there. What do you got tonight for us at Wager Talk?
Yeah, we missed the other games last night, but we hit with UCF. Missed out with Florida, actually, as my other college play, but still number one the last 2 years combined in college basketball at WagerTalk.com. So college hoops has been very, very good to us the last couple of years. Taking it easy tonight in college hoops. Going to give out a free play here on the show for you, but my top play is actually an NBA best bet tonight. The national TV game, the late night TNT matchup between the Blazers and Nuggets is available right now. Get that for $25, or the best deal is get the next 3 days and nights all sports for just $49. No promo code needed. $49, 3 days and nights of all sports. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com.
And Dave, hell of a way to celebrate your birthday last night. I believe a 4-1 night, couple of winners in college hoops. Congrats. Happy birthday again, my man. Yeah. And what do you got tonight for us?
Well, yeah, but the one loser. I mean, I got SMU minus, I think it was 14.5. They're up 75-54 at the last media timeout against a team that has no offense. So that's probably going to get there. And they come out of the timeout, commit a foul, and get a technical. 4 free throws for South Florida. They make them all. Got outscored 11-2 in the last 4 minutes. My only points were at the free throw line. And South Florida hits their last 3. So that ends up that's a terrible loss. It really is. Those are the kind that really piss you off. I won everything else last night, so it was a good night, but could have been a great night. Anyway, I have no best bets today. I have 2 college basketball games, one of which we're talking about here. You can get those both free because my policy this year in college basketball is I'm selling best bets. Anything less than best bet level is free. So that's up. I do have a hockey play. But that's all access. It's not for individual sale. But I do have the package, and that look, $69 for 7 days is pretty good. Might add something later today. I'll be looking to see if there's any late info that's worth delving into. Probably in an hour or so. So we'll see.
All right, guys, head over there, take advantage, and celebrate Dave's birthday with him. $69 over at WagerTalk.com, and let's start off here and. The conference that just wants to just beat each other up here. How about Indiana taking on to Iowa here tonight? Iowa opens up as a -3. I'm seeing 4.5 in spots too as that number continues to climb. The opening total of 151, and if I'm not mistaken, that too is actually come down a little bit. 150.5 in the market. 9 o'clock Eastern time, Hawkeye Arena here. Ralph, kick us off. What do you think of Iowa, Indiana tonight?
Well, let me start off by correcting Dave, and I don't have to do this very often. He said $69 for 7 day is a good deal. That's correct. But yeah. Dave, your special is $69 for 10 days, which makes it a freaking good deal. So, obviously,
it just shows you. And I know I've said this before, but I don't do any of the promotion. I let Wager Talk handle that. That's why I signed the contract, so I didn't have to do any of that stuff anymore. So I get mixed up on my own promotions because I don't know what they are.
10 days.
10 days. Obviously, offense versus defense. We have Iowa, the leading scorer in the Big Ten, 86 points per game, number 3 efficiency, Ken Palm. And Mike Woodson has done an incredible job his first year at Indiana. They're playing incredible defense, number 11 in efficiency from Ken Palm, and number 1 in the country, holding opponents to 41.1%. So who wins? We have a fast-paced team against a team that wants to slow it down. As we've mentioned on this show numerous times, usually the home team can take advantage. This Iowa team still learning how to grow. Let's remember, they were a powerful team last year, but you lose your number 1, your number 2, your number 4, and your number 6 scorers. And the top 2 guys are playing for the Detroit Pistons and the San Antonio Spurs, but yet they still have an incredible offense. I'm gonna go this way. You look at Iowa's first half scores in the Big Ten. They were down 13 to Wisconsin, 4 to Maryland, 3 to Illinois, 7 to Purdue. Even though they have that offense, they have been off to slow starts. I think they are going to struggle early against the Indiana defense. While I lean Iowa for the game, I actually lean Indiana first half here.
All right, likes Indiana in the first half. Nice angle there. Steve, what do you think here? Indiana on the road for this one. What do you think Iowa's chances of bouncing back here?
Yeah, and by the way, this game opened 3. It's up to 4.5. There's even some 5s out there. First half is 2.5. But as is always the case with college basketball totals, it's 150.5 for the game. It's only 71 for the first half. So that's making the second half line 79.5. Because obviously they price in the fouling down the stretch, especially in a competitive game like this. On the surface, Indiana checks a lot of boxes for a live dog, obviously. As Ralph said, as good defensively as anybody in the country this year, holding teams to 35% shooting, 29 from three-point range. Iowa's a very good shooting team, so that is important. Hawkeyes hit 77% from the free throw line, so down the stretch they maybe can pull away here. But I just get a feeling that maybe Iowa wins this game, but Indiana covers, and that's what kept me off of it. Indiana is a live dog here, but they've been weaker on the road this year, and that's why I would probably back away from using them here. They lost at Penn State. They, of course, lost at Wisconsin, lost at Syracuse, but once again, 2-point loss, 3-point loss, 5-point loss in those 3 road games. So every loss, Joe, is by 5 or less. I just feel like this line moving from 3 to 4.5 to 5 is kind of priced out the advantage that Iowa had off the loss at home. If I had to play it at 5 or more, I would actually lean towards Indiana, even though I think the situational setup favors the Hawkeyes.
All right, good stuff there. And Dave, what do you think here? Indiana heading to Iowa. You like Iowa at home to take care of business?
Yeah, I like. Look, this is a situation I've been playing and winning with. Doesn't work every time out, but more wins than losses, certainly, and that is elite teams off a loss. And Iowa is certainly off a loss. They had a very bad offensive game at Wisconsin. A lot of people were on Iowa in that game, and myself included, and they just did not deliver. But coming home off the loss, I expect them to play well. I do have them as the better team. I made the game -7, so there's not a lot of value in it anymore because the line's gone up. This would have been a best bet at -3, but I knew that line wasn't going to hold last night, so I didn't bother to post it because it's kind of unfair to post a game when you know the line's going to move and that most people won't be able to get that good number. So when it did move, it got reduced a bit. But I still like Iowa. It's still a play for me, just not a best bet. It's the right spot for them. Indiana, I don't think is going to be able to play the tempo they want to play on the road here, and I expect a bounce back for Iowa off the game this past weekend.
All right, good stuff. Like an Iowa to bounce back here against Indiana tonight, guys. 9 o'clock Eastern time tip for that one. Let us head out west for a big Pac-12 battle. How about Oregon taking on UCLA in this one? It opened up 10.5. It is now 9.5 in a lot of spots. The total right around 141, 141.5 still from that open. 9:30 Eastern time tip here. And Steve, that was a nice win. It was a battle, really. The old Civil War there earlier this week for Oregon. They won. Now they got to head out to L.A. to take on these Bruins. What do you think of this matchup?
Yeah, Oregon's been an overrated team this year. I mean, they're 9-6 straight up, but they're 4-11 against the spread. And I always feel like the point spread is the great barometer, the truth teller, right? So this is a team that's underperformed when you look at a 4-11 spread record. And they did fail to cover that Oregon State game, winning by only 2 as a 4.5-point road favorite. Only their 3rd true road game of the season, by the way. They played at Stanford back in early December, lost by only 3. That game was pick'em. As you mentioned, this past weekend, they won at Oregon State by 2, but they were a 4.5-point favorite. So they've yet to be a big dog on a true road game this year. So this is a huge step up in class. And I'm going to lean towards UCLA for that reason. My concern and what kept this off my card is that Oregon plays very slow half-court basketball. I'm always reluctant to fade one of these almost double-digit dogs when they can slow the game down. But as Ralph said earlier, and we've talked about a lot, home teams usually are better at dictating the tempo on their home court. So I think UCLA can speed things up a little bit. And if they do, if they get somewhat of their preferred pace of play, they're the better team at both sides of the court. They're the better offensive team and the better defensive team based on my ratings. And look at those road games once again. Oregon's played 6 true neutral and road games this year. They've gone 2-4 straight up. They're 0-6 against the spread away from home this year. Oregon's always had a very strong home court, so that's not a surprise. By the way, they're 4-5 against the spread at home. So 0-6 on the road against the spread, much worse numbers. And it's because of the offense. They're shooting 40.5% on the road, 28.5% from three-point, and 60.5% from the free throw line. Not a good offensive team on the road. That's usually when the true colors come out, if you can shoot or not. So UCLA checks a lot of boxes here. I just worry that maybe the game gets slowed down. They can stay within the number. Otherwise, I like the Bruins minus the 9.5 in this one.
All right, good stuff. Dave, we've talked about Dana Altman and the Oregon Ducks before. This feels like this is usually the time of year it starts to come together for Oregon here. Do you trust them in this spot tonight to get it done?
I'll make this real quick. No fans at any Pac-12 games. So unless something really strong stands out to me, I won't be playing any Pac-12 games because I don't know how to incorporate that. You're not going to have any situations where the team, gets on a roll and the crowd's going wild. There's nobody there. That's all Pac-12 games. No fans. So my number in the game was UCLA 8. I don't see any reason to get involved, and that's a hard pass.
Great point, though, there. Ralph, how do you look at this? I mean, the market seems to be leaning a little bit towards the Ducks here. What do you think?
Well, it could be just that, without fans, the home court edge is negated. You have Bill Walton on the call, so, you have the UCLA cheerleader there for you. I agree with Dave. It's so hard to take. It looked like Oregon's defense was starting to regress, as they always do under Altman. It seems like Boeheim and Altman, their defenses both start the season slow. When it gets to March Madness, they're preparing and they're ready to play. But they allowed 53.4% against Oregon State. That concerns me. I'm gonna lean under first half. And again, by no means is it a best bet without fans. But UCLA's defense, I mean, you look at the last 5 games, their worst performance was against Long Beach State, where they allowed 43% shooting. And that was because they hadn't played in 26 days, played or practiced. So, you're only your 3rd game out now. So UCLA is really basically starting the season fresh. They played on December 11th against Marquette, and they did not play again until January 6th, a game they didn't cover. Then they came back against California, a game they didn't cover. They did have a 8-point win. They were laying 8.5 at most spots, so they failed to cover by the hook. But, this UCLA team, I couldn't play against them because I think now this is their 3rd game and they're gelling. But the way their defense is playing and the way Oregon plays a slow pace, I'd go under first half.
All right, looking to go under in the first half in that one. UCLA guys taking on Oregon, little Pac-12 battle tonight. We got one more going on, and boy, this is going to be fun. This one. Let's head out to Washington and take a look at BYU visiting the Zags here. 15.5 they open up, and that's pretty much where we're still at here. The total of an open of 153. That's come down a hair. 11 o'clock Eastern time tip tonight. 60 in a row at home for the Zags here. Dave, what do you think? Do they get 61 tonight?
Oh, yeah. BYU is not going to beat him. What you have to decide is BYU good enough to stay within this big number? I'm not so sure they are. My opinion on BYU is, I think, lower than most people. I don't even have them really that close to my top 50. I've watched them a few times. If they get hot with the 3, they can hang around. But away from Provo, that's not always the case. Gonzaga is still a really good team. I don't know. I think maybe they got a little overrated early. I don't think they're the number 1 team in the nation. But they're a top 10 team. I made the number 16. To me, it's pretty unplayable. Gonzaga is going to win the game. They might get a test from BYU early. But I think at some point Gonzaga is just going to hit him on the run and get rid of him. So BYU will have to play its best game to stay competitive here. I can't count on them to do that. Lean for me is Gonzaga, but not really close to being a play at this number.
Okay, leaning towards the Zags here. What do you think, Ralph? They've been unbeatable at home. Mark Few says they're going to play really, really hard. What do you think you're going to get tonight?
Yeah, well, they're excited, and there will be fans here, and the fans are very excited to get this BYU team. Mark Pope, the BYU head coach, said, I really think that the West Coast Conference is pissed at us for leaving to the Big 12, scheduling us St. Mary's, the Zags on the road, and then 2 days later, they have to go play San Francisco. If BYU gives an effort, I'll be looking to fade him in that San Francisco game. That's an incredible 3-game stretch that they have to play. So, when I broke down game by game and you look at Tejan Lewis, the BYU point guard, he's a Wisconsin-Milwaukee transfer. He has turned the ball over quite a bit against good defenses. And this Zags defense has been great. We're talking about they don't force a lot of turnovers. They don't get a lot of steals, but they are still playing great defense. It's like Pope said, he in an interview, he said, we prepped for Gonzaga in the summer. Every couple days they worked on pretending like they were playing the Zags, and they had 6 players on the scout team because you can't practice against that type of speed, athleticness, and the way they play transition offense. Dave said BYU is going to have to get them early. Last year, the Zags led 23-2 at home against BYU, and they led BYU 15-2 when they went to Provo. Now, BYU did lead by 14 in the first half in the West Coast Championship in the West Coast Conference tourney, but Gonzaga came back and did beat them. So this is their fourth meeting in just under a year. I don't think BYU can hold with them, but I am not going to get there to the window. I'm going to look at this game, hope BYU has a great effort, can keep it close and keep it competitive late, and then I will clearly look to fade them playing the Dons on Saturday.
All right, there you go. How about it, Steve? What do you think? BYU getting 15.5. They got a shot to keep it within that number?
They have a shot. I mean, they're a good defensive team. The problem is, though, both teams like to play fast. Gonzaga does it better. I talk a lot about tempo and pace when handicapping. I always like to look for those slow-down teams against a fast team. But the other thing I like to look for is two up-tempo teams, because I'm a firm believer when both teams play the same way, the better team has the edge. And, of course, Gonzaga is as good as anybody when they want to be in the country. And I think this is a focus spot. And as Ralph mentioned, BYU announced a couple months ago they're leaving for the Big 12. I think that actually makes Gonzaga more focused for this game. Let's take it to the team leaving our conference. And BYU has been a feisty underdog in this series the last few years. In fact, the last 4 meetings, Gonzaga has not covered. We've had a couple games land right on the closing line, and we've had BYU cover, losing by 10 as a 14-point dog, and then they lost by 13 as a 4-point dog. I think this year's different, though. Gonzaga is the only way I would play this one. I think they can pull away, and the fact that both teams will play fast, we get more points. It makes it a little more realistic to cover the 14.5. So if you're going to play it, you better lay it. I think that's the only way here with Gonzaga.
All right, good stuff there. Gonzags or not there. Let's take a look here, guys. There's a lot of great games on the board here tonight. Loaded card. Let's figure out which one of these games on the card tonight these guys might like a little bit more than the rest. So, Ralph, kick us off here, man. Which one of these games did you circle for us?
I got crap on Twitter last week because I didn't use a team in the 300s. It's like, what the hell? So I didn't get to the 300s, but I got to the 230s. So hopefully that'll keep people happy enough. I'm going with UNC Asheville against Winthrop. I think Winthrop comes in a bit overrated. Yes, they went 23-2. And I am going to point out this. I normally don't play. One revenge situation that I believe is legit in college basketball is if a team beats you for your only home loss. Winthrop 23-2 last year. Asheville did beat them and snapped a 21-game win streak. So why am I still playing Asheville? Well, Winthrop, again, lost 3 of their top 6 players. They didn't sign any freshmen. They brought in 5 transfers. They have a new head coach with Mark Prosser, who came over from Western Carolina. And yeah, he was an assistant here a while ago, but they're still not in sync. They are 0-6 ATS as a favorite. This Asheville team went 10-10 last year, played them twice, a 10-10 team against a 23-2 team, lost by 4 at home, and then beat them by 2 on the road. And they played back-to-back days, the final 2 games of the regular season. So they have confidence. They were a 10-10 team last year, all 5 returning starters, off to a 10-5 start. And I really think they hang within this number here. It was 7 when I sent them to play. It has dropped. I yelled at Joe for quit betting so much on my best bets because he's screwing the line for my customers. But it's down a few points, but I still like them. It is on TV, and you watch DJ Burns for Winthrop. He's 6'9", 275, and he is a mammoth guy. But the center for Asheville, Drew Pember, the interesting story is both of those kids signed at Tennessee together and were on the volunteer squad. Then one transferred, obviously, to Winthrop and one transferred to Asheville. So they know each other. He can't shut him down. There's very few people that can slow DJ Burns down, but he does it. So that's why I'm on the Bulldogs.
All right, on the Bulldogs. I don't know how the hell you didn't go Cleveland State. You and I are going to have a conversation after the damn show here, Ralph. All right, talk to me, Steve Merrill. Is William and Mary playing? Let's hope not. Who are you going with here tonight?
Yeah, it's supposed to be back on the court Saturday. They had their game canceled. 3 straight games postponed, so we'll see what happens there. Going to look at a slow-down versus fast-paced team for a free college basketball play. It's a late-night game Thursday night at 11 o'clock Eastern in the West Coast. We're going to look at St. Mary's of California minus the 12.5. They always, year in and year out, play at one of the slowest half-court paces. that makes it a little dicey sometimes covering a double-digit line on the road especially, right? But I think it's a really good bounce-back spot for him off a loss against a good BYU team on the road in their last game. BYU likes to play fast. Pepperdine plays even faster tonight. So it's a second straight game against an up-tempo team. St. Mary's will be very comfortable, and it's a huge step down in class now versus Pepperdine as opposed to BYU. Also like the fact that St. Mary's had their worst offensive game of the season, 43 points, 29% shooting. I like to look for quality teams to bounce back off bad showing. So it checks a lot of boxes here. Pepperdine wants to play fast. It's not going to work for him here against a slow-down half-court St. Mary's team. And St. Mary's has been really good against bad teams this year. Against Riverside, they won by 17. Against Santa Barbara, they won by 21. Against Missouri State, they won by 17. They were a 6.5-point favorite in that game. Recently, before they lost to BYU, they beat Yale by 27 as a 13-point favorite. So they actually do win by large margins in general when they're playing bad teams, and it's a focused bounce-back spot. Plus, we get the slowdown style against a team that likes to play fast in Pepperdine. A lot of things point to St. Mary's tonight. Minus the 12.5 goes at 11 p.m. Eastern Thursday night.
Hope they shoot it better than they did against BYU. God, that was awful.
They won't shoot any worse. That's my lock of the night.
That was just awful. All right, Dave, talk to us here. Which one of these games did you like a little bit better than the rest?
Oh, the Iowa game, because it is a bet for me. It's not a big bet. Didn't make best bet category. It might have made it at -3, but that number's gone. 4.5. I still like it, but not enough to make it a best bet. Nevertheless, it is a selection. Again, I'm doing more of these than anything else this year, focusing on really good teams, elite teams in bounce-back situations or in revenge. And Iowa fits the bounce-back situation here. Awful loss last game. The cat almost made it through the entire show on my lap, but he's just decided to exit. So he kept his record perfect. I think Iowa gets there. I don't think it's going to be a runaway by any means, but I still think the Hawkeyes -4.5 are worth a small bet tonight. So we'll go that way. And again, it's 10 days of all my selections across the board for $69. I think I'm going to have a best bet in the NFL playoffs. I'll make a decision on that today or tomorrow. But done pretty well in the postseason in the NFL over the years, just like the Bulls in college. For some reason, the postseason in college and pro football has been very good to me. So you'll get those along with everything else on that birthday special that's available right now. No code necessary. Just go to my homepage at WagerTalk and sign up.
Boom. Take advantage here, guys. And let's take a look at what our friends from the Gold Sheet have in store today for a best bet. They're looking at Stanford here to get the job done against on the road against Washington State. Now, keep in mind, I believe this is a 5 p.m. tip here,
Yeah.
so just keep that in mind, 5 p.m. Eastern time. But this full write-up can be found, guys, if you want to read it over on our Twitter page at Wager Talk. We post all the Gold Sheet plays of the day after the show there. Great information, great write-ups, of course, great handicapping tools available for you over at thegoldsheet.com. All right, I am going to go on the advice of our fearless producer, Robert. I'm going to look at Abilene Christian tonight here, which I think is a great buy low spot. They're heading to Grand Canyon. They're getting 3.5. Might have been a little bit of a look ahead here. They've lost 2 straight. Good opportunity to hop on, take the points, grab Abilene Christian tonight against Grand Canyon. All right, guys, one more time. Let's take a look here. Ralph Michaels, UNC Asheville +5. Oh, now it's +2.5 because we bet it. Steve Merrill there, St. Mary's at -12.5. Dave Koken likes Iowa -4.5. I'm looking at Abilene Christian tonight +3.5 against Grand Canyon. And our friends from the Gold Sheet, they like Stanford against Washington State +7.5. And again, keep in mind, guys, 5 p.m. Eastern time tip on that Stanford game. Make sure you hit that bell in the upper right-hand corner, guys. And more importantly, make sure you head over to WagerTalk.com. Ralph Michaels' best bets, Steve Merrill, his best bets, and, of course, Dave Koken, the $69 birthday special available at his page. 10 days, all access, every play, including his 5% best bets. And on behalf of all of us at Wager Talk, a very happy birthday, Dave Koken. Enjoy your day. We'll be back again tomorrow, guys. In the meantime, best of luck with your plays tonight. We'll talk to you then.
Why pay the regular price when you can save money on every purchase with WagerBucks at both WagerTalk and SportsMemo? WagerBucks are now eligible for use on not just daily, 3-day, and 7-day passes, but all long-term and seasonal packages up to 1 full year. There are tons of options available for every budget and size of bettor. From low as $100 gets $110, all the way up to $2,500 gets you $3,000. Save every day on every pick you buy with WagerBucks.